evening, everybody. Good night, or no, good evening, I think is what you say when you say hello.
Talking Dirty
with Maestro.
Not just numbers,
Not just stats.
it's about what they mean.
I'm going to send to you the information.
Talking Dirty.
Hello and welcome to Happy 420 Day, the Blazer. That's what's up. Happy birthday, man. You know what's up. This show is about you today, fam. About the point guards, about the do-ra-do, about the other do and the other do what you want to do, how you got to do it. Kai Killins. Lil Alaric. Almighty Soul. Put on clinics this week showing us how the game is supposed to be done, showing you how it's supposed to do what you're supposed to do. And let's talk about that. Let's give some credit to that and let's see where does it come from. Because this is really important. The whole idea of some of the things that I say, new heads who don't know me, one of the things I always talk about is leverage, right? Old heads can hook you up with this. And yes, all these athletes had great games this week. They had great points and assists and rebounds and all this other stuff. And that's awesome. What's more important than what they had is when they got them. And that is key. I want us to stay with this. That is key about when did they actually get those stats, because that's what led to their teams coming up with wins. And on the other side of all of that, and this is key, is that these things happen not in a vacuum, but they happen because of how they were able to maintain leverage. So old heads helping new heads out with this one. Specific example. Lil Alaric, almost in 3 plays in a row, gets power move to the bucket. And how did he do that? Very simple. Got space with his dribble, not a true crossover, but more of a bounce over drill. Got the person defending him on their right foot, which means he can now go to their left foot. And instead of stepping with his right foot first, he stepped with his left foot. His left foot to the back of their left foot. He's already passed him at this particular point. Call an Uber. It's over. Ride's done. And this is what I mean when I say that. That move, when it happens that particular way, puts a couple of things down on the table. Very few players have the instincts to understand when they're beat to their off foot, they can't turn to that foot to try to catch up because they're already behind. They're going to either make physical contact, which is going to be a foul, or they're going to get in the way of their weak side defender trying to back them up because of what just happened. Now, there's 3 bigs that are really good at doing this. Victor Ilgauskas, Andrei Ivanov, and Ivan Suslov. Very good. A couple other players, too. I don't want to leave anybody else out. But just for what immediately came to my mind is what these players are able to do. Those players, probably because of their height, probably because of how they're able to play through it, is they're able to turn opposite of that breakdown. Rotate, change the angle to the basket, which is key. Changing the angle to the basket, and then use their height to reset the leverage to be able to defend the play. But players close to the same height don't necessarily do that, even though they should. And this is why. If we're the same height, you make that move on me, you step to my back foot, I then pivot on my right foot, race you to the point of angle on the basket. I don't try to follow you. I try to beat you to the point where you want to go. Now, one or two things can happen. If I can get there 2 steps ahead of you, or a step and a half ahead of you, I can now set my foot, set my feet, take a charge. Maestro love charges. Or I can then leverage against the hand you have with the ball, volleyball jump straight up as you go to the bucket, and either make you commit to a pass or commit to try to beat me off the jump. Lil Alaric, Almighty Soul, Kai Killens, they do the same thing every time. They don't wait. Once they have you beat, right to the rim, they choose violence, get those points. That's how you do that. Very good. Love seeing when the number ones or the ball handler makes that kind of move and makes that move with aggression. Only good things will happen. So keep that up, fellas. Bravo, Zulu. Good job. Let me know what else you think about it. Let me know how else you see these plays playing out. Because when you see players creating plays, the breakdown that you might want to point out on the other end is often happening because those players making those other plays happen. So you know what's up. We're going to talk about it a little bit more and talk about something else with the Blazer or about the Blazer. So catch me on the other side.
Thank you for listening to the Maestro. Want to get involved? Bring it.
Drop in discord.gg/SimWorld Hoops.
If you have the brain, join as a coach. If you have the game,
join as a player.
see the game, be the game. Now, back to the Maestro.
Sorry. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. And welcome back to Talkin' Dirty with your boy. On 420 day, the Blazer. Happy birthday, my man. I do not expect to hear from you till tomorrow night. Maybe. As long as it's not, another call from the sheriff's department saying, do you know this dude? All right. We're not going to talk about that. Well, we could, but, I don't think it'd be appropriate. One of the things you got to love about the Blazer, and I'll say this from my very first moment of signing on here in SimWorld Hoops, his passion and love for the game is always clear in how he speaks about the game and is definitely infectious all across the table. Appreciate you, brother. Stay awesome. And let's talk about what teams need to do in this second half, or the end of the season now, the last half of the second half, in order to prepare for the race to one. Figure out what you do well. One, there's enough game footage behind you now where you can scout yourself, good moments and bad moments, but don't just admire yourself and what you did well. Look at why it happened. Look at what your teammates did. Look at what you did. Look at how you moved on the floor. Look at to the point that you moved on the floor. Did you move to open space? Did you move against leverage? Did you move with leverage and then change your motion at the last second? Look at the things that you did to lead to that success. I'm sure every coach is trying to put that through your heads right now. Number two, recognize what you do not do well and limit those moments. Though in your mind, you might feel you are a great three-point shooter. If you're shooting around 9%, don't. Just don't. Okay. Be sure everything you do helps out every other jersey on the floor with you. And lock into the principles that your coaches are trying to get you to adapt to right now. Because the more you buy into that together, understanding I'm staying away from my weaknesses, playing to my strengths, the better you're going to be when it starts to count. And number three, I know many of you imagine your greatness as being unmatched. And you should. But don't. If you really take your game serious and what you can do to improve and get better, and you want to find a balance between developing your game, getting yourself better as what your coaches are trying to do, and putting wins on the board, specifically in the race to one, because mindset is a goal, mindset is a challenge, mindset is a skill, then you need to stop playing me ball and start playing we ball. Because what I've noticed with every single game I've watched, at every single moment that I've seen, every time an team has gone into a lull is because you started seeing me ball, not we ball. And you guys are way too smart for that. understand that is what needs to happen for you in order to support your team, to give them an opportunity to stay ahead and do what they need to do in order to make sure that you're on the right track as a player, as a team, but more importantly, as a person. Can't wait to see this. Is going to be fun. You know what's up. Holla at your boy. Let me know what you think the skill sets are needed to help yourself grow as well as support your team. Let Maestro know how you feel your coach communicates with you in order to get you set, to get you moved forward, to get you doing those things that you need to do to get better. Positive talk. All right? Take your ego out of it. Take yourself out of it. Let's go and play for the team all the way around. You know what's up. I'll let you, boy. And no matter what you do, new or old, don't matter. Never let Jason Bourne borrow your car.
Like, I need to talk to somebody.
Thank you for listening to Maestro.
Thank you again for checking out Maestro. Drop a tag below and give us a piece of your mind. See you next time.
Well, thank you for your time. Have a wonderful day.